All right, good afternoon, you guys. This is Karen McNall, and I'm with Inspired by Graham, and I am bringing you my craft along. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll just give it a minute or two for our students to come on board that purchased the class. I offered this a while back, and I had to postpone it due to family. My father passed away, so I had to postpone it for a couple weeks, but I am back. I haven't been on YouTube in a long time, and I apologize for that. But things, family first, right? That's what we say. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm slowly getting back into the groove and hope to have a pretty tight schedule going out and a little bit more of a routine going forward. So thanks so much for joining me today. We are going to be making a lot of cards. Let's see, three A2 cards and a mini card and a tag. So I really enjoyed working with the Hearts and Hugs bundle, which can be found in the annual catalog. And I'm not sure what page it's on, but the bundle, it's right here. I don't have the bundle number, but maybe somebody can look it up for me. It is in the annual catalog. I guess I should have had that prior, but I'll need to get that bundle item number on my template here. The reason why I create these templates, and I do it every single time I purchase a bundle. Before I use it, I want to see what the stamp set looks like stamped, all the die cuts, or a punch if it's a punch bundle, how it all operates, and then I will create a class. So we created this class. I created all the little shade, blending and stamping, and my helper Debbie put the template together. So this is what we'll be working with today, and I do have an ordering special. And that is this weekend only. So what it is it expires on Sunday, August 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Daytime. And I have a special ordering host code, and that is H3CF4UW6. And a product order of $50 or more, or $50 will get you all 5 kits. And then if you add $10 in product to your order, I will send you all 5 kits plus an embellishment that will go with this one. So my long URL going direct to Stampin' Up is right here. You might want to take a screenshot of it. But another way you can get to me is inspiredbygraham.com and just hit the shop now button. I do not have this host code up there right now. I have an old one. I just got to go and find time to update my website. So take a screenshot of this right now. I'll bring it back towards the end of the class as well. And I'll try to put it over to the side here. But let me get I think I'm going to get started because there's a lot of projects. I've got 10, so 2 of each, and I haven't decided whether or not I will create all 10, or I think what I'm going to do is just going to create 1. That way the video is not, or the class isn't 2 hours long. It'll be quite long. So I want to show you how or what was in this craft along kit. And I offered it, let's see, where are my notes? I have my notes here, of course. Yeah, right here. I don't know when I ordered it, but, I was supposed to do the original YouTube Live on July 29th. So just a couple weeks late on that. But in the craft along, you received $26 worth of Stampin' Up! Products. And the class, I believe, was $45, and that included shipping. So let's take a look at what's in the package. I generally kind of bundle everything up with a piece of 12 by 2 designer paper, wrap it in there so nothing gets lost. In this one here, everybody got a yard of the In Colors ribbon which is really nice because I'm using the in color. Let me just try to keep this kind of together. I'm going to be using this one, but let's see. I don't want to rip my info here. I want to keep this little thing. It's really tight. Well, I think I might have to. Let me just take my little paper snips and just trim this off here. Okay. You can always use this on something else, the 12 by 12 here. It does, all I know now, it didn't quite wrap around a 2 by 12, so I had to put two together, and then I taped it to the package. So that's why it wasn't coming off, but there's a really simple, cute tag here that I always put on my kits, and you can reuse it if you take it off, you know, fairly gently, which I didn't do on this one, but I can just put a little label on here. That way I can write on some white, but I think that's so cute, that little mouse. And then what the $26 included was a full pack of the 24-26 in color 6x6 designer paper. So there's 48 sheets here, 5 of each. And then I have my info card in there. I always send that. So in case you have struggle with the class, or you don't understand something, or maybe you want to place an order, all my information is here. And then I had all the kits numbered. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I had the iridescent pearls, basic jewels as the embellishment of choice for this class. It also included some cardstock. So we had Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop. Oh my gosh, I can't remember my colors. This is horrible because I haven't been online for so long. Peach Pie, this is Summer Splash, and something Shamrock. You guys can all help me out because I know you're going to be really nice to me today. All right, provide a little bit of grace for Karen. All right, so I'm going to get started. There's what you want in your class. So if you are crafting along with me, make sure you have your adhesive. I'm going to be using liquid glue. Maybe some paper snips because you never know, you're going to have to cut your ribbon. So make sure you have those. Some Scotch tape. I've got my bone folder. I got an embellishment tool. I've got some Wink of Stella because I never know when I'm going to want to put Wink of Stella on there. I've got my little crafting tweezers. All my stamps are on blocks already, so I've already done that. You might want to have some ribbon scissors and the inks. So you should have Memento Black ink if you are using Stampin' blends. If you're using our Stampin' our watercolor pencils, then you want Stays On. All right, so I'm using blends, so I need to use the Memento Black. And the other ink colors I'm using are Summer Splash and Pretty in Pink. That's all I'm using. So 3 different ink colors today. And then I've got an assortment of blends. So let's see. I've got Pretty in Pink, Flirty Flamingo, Crumb Cake, Smoky Slate. Let's see. Get these all kind of together. Ivory, Dark Petal Pink, SU 400. I think this is Crumb Cake. Yeah, that's Dark Crumb Cake. Petunia Pop, and Dark Gray Granite. So those are all the blends I'm using, but you can make it your own, of course. I did cut all the designer series paper ahead of time for everyone. I think I did. This is like going to be hard because I don't even remember. I packaged these like well over a month ago. But I'm going to get my embellishments ready to go. So I have those all handy over here. And then, let's see. I'm going to start with number 1. And then we're going to go forward. In your instruction sheet, which I did email, I re-emailed it out today for our participants, but it looks like this. So you're going to want to turn to project number 1, which is your tag. Okay. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the chat button. I'll try to kind of look over there once in a while, but for me, I love to stay focused so I don't kind of mess up things. So my ribbon looks like it's a little crinkled because it's been in here for a while, so hopefully yours isn't like that. But if it is a little crinkled, sometimes if you just take your bone folder and you just kind of do gently go like this, kind of a couple times, it will kind of be like an iron for you. All right, so just like this. And do it the opposite way from that crease. And if it doesn't work, then you can use some like a spritz and wet it a little bit and then use your bone folder. It should work. So I'm not going to be too fussy with mine. I'm not a perfectionist, so neither should you be. Okay, so our instructions say stamp the sentiment onto the basic white strip using Summer Splash ink. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to do my stamping on 2 projects. That way I don't have to do it later today, but I'm going to just make 1 tag for you guys. So we're going to be using, for this one, where's my sample? I had it. Who knows? Who knows, Karen? Anyway, you'll see what it looks like. All right, so what you want to do too is just make sure all your pieces are somewhat organized for you. That way the flow will go a lot better. So this one says, I could just hug you. So I will find that stamp. I have it mounted. Oh, wait, that's not it. Hold it. Okay, here it is. So I have it mounted on a B block and I have it diagonal, and I put my sentiments on diagonal because if you put them on across, your eyes will tend to go right to the edge of the block and not the sentiment. So try putting it on. If you struggle with stamping sentiments, put it on the diagonal and see how it works for you. So this one here, what you want to do is kind of stamp a little bit close to the right side of that banner. Let me grab my Summer Splash ink. You're going to trim down the banner, but for right now, we're just going to leave it all together. And if you don't have this stamp set, then this class probably is not going to work for you. You're going to need the bundle, because you're going to be coloring in, unless you want to use something else that you think will work. All right, so I just have those 2 together, and that's all our stamping on this one. So I'm going to close this up and put it over to the side here. I'm going to try to stay really nice and neat for you guys. The next thing you're going to want to do is stamp your critters. I'm calling these critters. I don't know what that animal is. So I am using Memento black ink because I'm using Stampin' Blends. And when I'm using Memento, I like to take the ink pad to the stamp. And then we're going to stamp right on here. I gave you an extra large piece of basic white just so that you would have enough room to die cut. And then we're going to stamp another one here. And then I think we're all set. Get your inks out of the way, and I'm going to grab some scrap paper. Actually, I'll grab this one here. Let me just fold it in half. You want to protect your work surface. And I'm using crumb cake, I believe. Yes. So I'm using crumb cake. So let's find those. That's ivory. And what is the other one I'm using? Oh, it's just crumb cake. Okay, so right there. So dark and light crumb cake are the colors. Let me just make sure that's what they are here, because one doesn't look like it. That's dark and that's light. Okay, so I'm going to put my blends off to the side. I like to start with a darker color first. And for this little critter here, I'm going around, I just noticed you need petal pink as well for the nose. So I'm just gonna go around the edge real quick here. And this is the darker colors producing this shading. And I'm just going to bring that down a little bit more here. I'm just going to go on the outline here. And then around his little paw there. And on this one, I'm just going to color on both sides of that line because I want them both to have that shading. And then just go down here. And then we're going to grab some area up here and just kind of go up and back. I'm not like a really good blending person, so I just do what I can do and go with the flow there. So I think I want, that's right, this area here is dark as well. And on this one too. All right, so let me add a little bit of darkness on this area and bring it down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to slide my cap on. When you're using blends, you want to slide it on horizontally. And now I'm going to bring in my light crumb cake. And I'm just going to go over the whole entire image here. It looks like my crumb cake is getting a little too, doesn't have as much ink in it. I think I have an extra one over on my other desk. I might have to grab it. Sometimes the opposite side of the blends is like full of ink. So I'm going to just put a light color on this first and then I'll go back over it. I'm not coloring in the nose there because I'm going to color that with petal pink. Right now, it's definitely not blending very well just because of the lack of the ink in there. So I might go grab my other one. We'll see what it looks like once I get this like first layer of ink on. Now I'm going to switch over to the brush tip and just see what it looks like. Yeah, see what I mean? There's a lot more ink on this side. Not sure why that is. Look at that. Maybe it's because I don't use the blending brush as much as a chisel point. That's probably why. See the difference? That's 2 layers of ink and that's just 1. So it's quite a different, quite a change in the layering of ink. Now, if you wanted a darker critter, then Pebble Path might be something you might want to try. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be, would be too dark or not, but you could give that one a try. Okay, I think I got to go over here. This is just too light for me. And now I'm going to take Petal Pink, which I have right here, or Ivory. I don't think it really matters. I used the dark Petal Pink just for the nose. Okay, so I will color this one in off camera. Now what you want to do is you're going to die cut. So find your die that goes with the Hearts and Hugs bundle. And I keep my dies in my case with a magnet sheet, and I get the magnet sheets from Stampin' Storage. I just find that they're super, super strong, and they're the perfect size for our Stampin' Up! Cases. All right, I've got some washi tape already on here, but it's been on here forever. So let's see what I might need to go grab some more, but let's see what we can do. I like to put the dies on first before I actually put it on the acrylic plate. That way I can see it better. My eyes are not the greatest, so let's see. Hopefully this will work. So I'm just going to grab my washi tape. I'm going to go get some more. And what the washi tape is doing, it's going to secure your die, hopefully, without shifting when you die cut. Okay. And I'm going to clear off my area here. And I'm going to bring in the mini cut and emboss machine. I love this one because it just sits right on my desk. It's very, very small. You can find it in this blue one, boho blue, in the online exclusive section of the Stampin' Up! Website. All right, so I've got my mini cut and emboss machine, and then I've got my plates, and that consists of plate number 1 and our number 2. You can see I use this quite a lot. And then I'm going to bring in my critters, and then number 2. And then I'm just going to push this in until I see that handle move. And then I'm switching, and sorry if the table or the camera rocks. I'm trying to go slow so it doesn't like move too much. All right, now this just simply folds up, and then I can put it right on my shelf in front of me. And then let's see what we've got. So we just kind of take the sandwich apart, and we gently pull it off the washi tape. And here's our little critters. I did a pretty good job. It's almost perfect. All right, so I'm happy with that. And like I said, I'll just be making one of these today. And I'll finish up off camera with the other ones. I'm offering this class for my next week to my Parks and Rec class. So they'll be making the same projects. All right, and then I'm going to put this die right back in on my magnet sheet so I don't lose it. And now what we need to do is just assemble everything. So you'll need to find, let's see, your white. Actually, I can kind of, and this one here, and it doesn't really matter what side you use. You choose, it's yours. And you'll need the Nested Essentials Summer Splash. And I'm going to put these off to the side. And I will create this little tag a little bit later. All right, so now this one here, just decide what you want showing. I'm going to try the little circles here. I'm going to grab my glue. It's brand new. Let's take this apart here. And when they're brand new, be careful because the glue comes out super fast. Just extremely light touch. And then this gets centered right on the basic white. These are the Countryside dies. Countryside Corners dies. All right, now for the hole here. You can use a single hole punch. And let me grab another punch. Which sorry. I just remembered they're in the box for the class. I'm going to take this retired Stampin' Up! Punch, and it's a 1/2 inch, So I'm just going to slide this in so that it's in beyond the designer paper. And I'm going to just use my eyes and it'll be centered, hopefully. It's a super big hole, but a single hole punch would work as well. But I like that it's big because I'm bringing, this is a little bit wider ribbon. So I'm just gonna take this and go up here like this. You can also, if you really wanted it to look a lot fuller, let me just show you what you can do. You can take two other ribbons together. You may want to use two different colors as well. It's up to you. And then we'll thread two together. We can compare afterwards too. Oops. Sometimes when you use a single hole punch and when you're threading the ribbon through, it can tear. Like the border from the top of the hole to the edge, it could just come, like you could tear right through it if you pull it too hard. So I'm liking this actually 1/2 inch hole punch. Now I'm going to take my ribbon scissors. I'm gathering all these ribbons here and I'm going to angle cut through all layers. Okay. Now they all have a fresh cut. They're all the same length. Now take your nested essentials. So we've adhered the DSP to the Countryside Corners dies, adhere the Summer Splash nested essentials with your adhesive. So grab your adhesive and then we're just gonna add this Summer Splash right to the center. And then find your critters. And I did forget, you need Stampin' Dimensionals. So if you don't have those, run and get those. I've got a stack over here. Looks like I got a brand new sheet, which is always fun. And I'm gonna put 3 dimensionals on our little critters. Dimensionals give you height. So it's not like right close to the cardstock. It's a little bit higher, thus you can see the object better. And then I'm going to just center the little critters on the nested essentials. Now I'll find my little banner here. And this is up to you if you want to, it just depends on how much you want to trim down. Let me find the sample here so I can show you. So I trimmed it down really close to the eye. That way it's about the same distance of the nested essentials. So it's, I find it looks a little bit better that way, centered. You can make them both straight, and it looks like that's what I did. So I'm going to just cut this down just like that. This does get some dimensionals. You'll need 2 of those. And then make sure they're pressed down really well so they don't peel off when you're taking the backings off. I'm going to put this right in the middle. Then you have a bunch of flowers in there. I want 2 the same color and 1 opposite. And then one of these will be adhered down. So the flowers are 2 different sizes. So this is the larger one. Put it right there. And then this one's a little bit smaller. This is the Pretty in Pink. What I want to do is I want to grab a mini dimensional to pop up the Pretty in Pink. I've got a little black sheet here. So I'm just gonna add that right there. I'm not worried about the center of it because we're going to be using some of the jewels to cover up the center. You might see the black coming through when I flip it over, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna put this right over here. The dimensional is hitting the critters right now, and see, you can see that black, but don't worry about it because we're gonna use the pearls and cover up the centers. And then the last one here, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grab a mini dimensional and I'm gonna pop that one up, and I'm going to place it close to the other Summer Splash. And it's gonna go right here. And then the final step is to find your pearls. And we have like the larger ones and we have smaller ones. So on this one here, I'm going to use a larger one. And then this is the same size, so why not put the same size over here? And then this is the one that's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to grab one of the smaller pearls and then just put it right in the center there. Okay. So on the back side, you can write a message here. And then this is a great tag to put on a gift. So let's look at the other one here. Oh wait, I did forget the gold. So I thought it would look really nice to add this little gold here, gold trim. This is also available in the online exclusives. It comes in gold and silver. I'm not sure if I'll be able to tie a bow, but I'm going to give it my best. I don't know what's happening outside, but all I can hear is this truck idling, and it's not at my house. Maybe they're going to fix the driveway. I don't know. We have a shared driveway with like how many people? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us. So we've had some rainstorms and it does wash out on occasion. So there. I think that looks a lot better than just having it plain. Adds a little bit of character. So that's the one we just created here. And then here's the one with a smaller hole. That's the single hole punch. This is kind of massive. So whatever you want. Now this one here, it's kind of missing a gem. So let me grab my piercing tool and add one here. We just decided on this one, I use white. Just because this one being the same color as a designer paper kind of just blends together. But there you go. Isn't that super cute? I'm going to see if there's any messages. There aren't. Hi, Carla, Deborah, and Brenda. Thank you so much for joining today. All right, so that was project number 1. We're going to move on to project number 2. So make sure you're clearing up your space and you are super organized. And I'm going to take this and save it so I can put it together later. All right, and then that's going over to there. All right, we're going to flip over our project sheet and we're going to go to project number 2, which is I Could Just Hug You. So find your envelope that says number 2 on it. And then if you're mass producing, I'm just going to create one just because of the coloring. But if you're doing these at the same time, make sure that you do the same thing at the, you know what I mean? Repetitive. Be repetitive. Now this one has lots of hearts, so be careful. You should find 3. And I already tied your bow for you, and you should have a piece of the Pretty in Pink ribbon. You should have a stitch circle and basic beige. This is the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. It's already embossed for you. You'll have a basic white panel And basic beige is the color of our card base. So we're going to stamp first. And let's see, I'm going to put this one aside. And I'm going to bring in that sample so you can see this is the one we're going to be making right now. And on the inside, it's just got stamped with the 3 hearts. So Pretty in Pink is the ink color plus your Memento Black. So we're going to stamp first. And we just use I Just Could Hug You. So make sure you get your Stampin' scrub. I'm going to get mine. There's only so much you can have on a desk when you are doing a video. So I'm going to put mine on that other desk after I clean it here. All right, so we need our Memento Black, like I said, and we also need Pretty in Pink. And let's grab your gerbil. I think this is a gerbil. I think that's what people are calling it. So again, I take my ink pad, Memento Black, to the stamp, and then I will stamp on the circle. All right, there he is, super cute. And then we're going to take the banner. Again, I did angle cut this one afterwards. You can keep it as is, or you can do what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp right in the middle. And that's pretty good. We're going to leave that off to the side. And I think we're all set. So let me cap. Oh no, we need the hearts. Yeah, see, something's outside and I can't tell. Just heard a bang. All right, find your heart stamp. There's 3 little hearts here, and I'm going to stamp the hearts in the corner of the envelope. And then I'm going to stamp, let me just show you here, on the inside of the panel with some little hearts as well. All right, let's close up our Pretty in Pink. All right, we're all set with these. What we need to do is color in our little gerbil. On this one, I used Crumb Cake once again, and I used Pretty in Pink. All right, that's Flamingo. That's Flamingo, Pretty in Pink. This is Pretty in Pink. Yep, and I used the light version. And we'll grab our Crumb Cake, which is this one here. And this one. So I'm going to be using the Pretty in Pink to make some little red cheeks here, and I'm going to use it on the inside of the ears as well. All right, so I'm going to use the Pretty in Pink first, then we'll color over it, and then we'll color over it with our Crumb Cake. And then I'll probably hit it again with the Pretty in Pink. I've got my dark Crumb Cake again. Same thing as what we did before. Let's get some shading in here. So around the ears and the forehead up here. Try to stay within the lines if you can. And we'll go down on the arms. I'm just gonna barely touch that little hand. And then a little bit down here in the feet in the middle. And then around the bottom. And then again up on the side. And now the bottom of the little cheeks. Now let's take the light Crumb Cake, and I remember that that chisel point isn't as good as the brush tips, so I'm going to use the brush tip the best I can to fill in this area here. I'm going lightly over the cheeks. I think they're a little too pink right now, so that's why I'm using the light crumb cake to go over. And then I might hit it again with the pretty in pink. Let's see what it looks like when it dries. This is a really tiny space here. That's why I like the brush tip to get into the tiny places. If you press down too hard on that tip, you're gonna bust it and it's not gonna work. It's gonna fray for you. So when you're using the brush tip, make sure you're at an angle. See how I'm at an angle? That way you're not pushing down on the tip. Use the side of the brush. And I'm going to color his face in. I just think it's a little too light. Okay. And I'm going to bring back the pretty in pink. I'm going to hit his ear up here. And let's see. I think that's good. Except for one hand is darker than the other. So let's get this colored in. There. I think I like the little gerbil. Okay, so that's all set. Now we're going to assemble your card. So grab your pieces. You'll need your card base. And you'll need your embossed panel plus your ribbon. So this is great if you have some Scotch tape. Excuse me, I like to use the Scotch tape. Hold on. Let me grab a drink. All right, sorry about that. I like to use Scotch tape to secure on the back side. You can use Terran tape. The Seal Plus is good too. That's super strong adhesive. Something strong because you don't want the ribbon coming off. And I'm just going to make sure that's straight across. Just got a message from my husband. He's going kayaking, which is great. He loves to kayak. All right, so now we're going to take our dimensionals. We're going to put 5 on here, so 1 in each corner. It can't be 3 o'clock already, is it? No, okay, phew. I didn't think so. He gets out of work at 3. Press those down really good, and you'll take your piercing tool or however you take those backings off. And then we will make sure our card is opening correctly. Okay, and it is. Then this goes right on here. So we got tone on tone with basic beige. Grab your little gerbil. 3 more dimensionals. So create a triangle with them. Some people would put 4 on there. I don't think 4 is necessary. 3 should do it. And then this is going to go, got a little bit of something right there. Maybe I can color or cover it up with something. I'm going to put this circle here in the middle of the ribbon and actually over to the side here. Now decide if you want to trim this down or not. I think it looks really big this way. So that's another reason why I did trim it down. You can angle cut it or cut it straight. I'm going to angle cut it. Grab your dimensionals again, and you'll need 2 and then just space them out about 1/2 inch apart. And then your sentiment is going to go right over top of its belly. That looks good. Now I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to hit the glue on the single embossed dot. So 2 there up top, and then I'm going to put maybe 1. Oh, I was going to cover that up, but that's okay. I'm going to put 1 down here. This is where the crafting tweezers come in handy. Now there is a right and wrong side of your heart, so make sure the smooth side is facing you. And then I'm just going to put them, on at an angle. I don't want that straight. I wanted it at an angle. See if I can take it off real quick. There we go. Now this one doesn't have a bow on it. I'm not sure why, but it probably fell off. So grab your bow, and I'm going to put it right close to the edge of the circle. If you have to trim down the tails, you might want to do it before, because your tails need to be really small, or else it's going to go over your focal point. You can add your pearls if you would like to. I'm going to see what the small ones look like added to the bottom of the heart here. I don't know if I'm going to like that. No, I don't like that. So I'm just going to sprinkle these. I'm going to cover up that little black spot there. And then we'll create some kind of triangle with our embellishment. So let's go up here. And I'm using all small, and I'm attaching them to a smooth spot on the basic beige cardstock. Let's go. I'm going to put 2 over here together. Then find your panel, and we'll add some glue to the back side here. Don't need a lot. And then this goes right to the inside. All right, so that is card number 2. We can see what it looks like with and without the bow. So you guys can decide what you like. Do you like it with the bow or not? Having the bow on there, you're gonna have, when you mail it, you're gonna have to put some cardstock in there or pay the extra postage. It's the butterfly stamp that's non-machinable mail. I'm going to see what you guys like. Is it the one with a bow or not? You guys can vote in the comment section. Next card is going to be, is my actual favorite out of all of them. All right, we're going to pick that up and we're going to move on. And it's the cute one. I love this one. What I wanted to do is make a card that doesn't include any of the animals or critters, and to use this little flower foliage die. So I think this one turned out really cute. Sending a big hug, and then on the inside, so it's there when you need it. So you'll need Summer Splash ink along with your Pretty in Pink. No memento this time. Grab card or package number 3. And I'm going to just do one of these cards now. And then this is going to have quite a few little pieces to it, so just be careful. So you should, of course, have your envelope, and then you'll have a banner. You'll have a bow. That one's like near perfect. Your foliage, shaded, no, not shaded spruce, shy shamrock. And then a flower in Summer Splash, pretty and pink. And I have another one in pretty and pink. Your circle, and you'll have 4 pieces of the designer paper in pretty and pink color. And then lastly, you'll have a 4 by 5 1/4 panel. It's going to get put right onto the front of the card there. So grab your banner and your card base. We're going to stamp first. And this is a top fold card as well. Summer Splash and pretty in pink. So Summer Splash, sending a big hug. I have this mounted on a B block. And I'm going to stamp this right in the middle. And then I'm going to open this card up so you can see where to stamp. So it's there when you need it. And then grab the hearts. I know this was stamped in pretty in pink already, so I don't need to clean it. And I'm just gonna stamp those hearts right there. Okay, simple, simple. Okay, now you're gonna grab your white panel and find all of your pieces. And then you're gonna lay them out as you see them in your photo on your instruction sheet. So get those out first and put it together. That way you'll remember how it goes onto your white panel. I like to use the liquid glue for this step just because you can move the paper around just a little bit if you don't have it on there correctly. And then you're going to want to adhere it just about 1/4 inch in from the top and the left side. And then find your other piece here. Doesn't matter which direction that pattern goes. I don't think it does. And I'm going to add this one right here again, about 1/4 inch border. Then we'll move back up to the corner here. And this one goes up here. And lastly, this is a great design to use up your scraps. I wonder what it would look like in all different colors. That would be kind of cool to see that. All right, so this now will go on your front. Okay, so grab your base and make sure it's opening properly, and grab 5 dimensionals. And let's see, mine are hiding there. Okay, 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. The reason why I put 1 in the middle is so that panel won't buckle down. Press them down real good. Grab your piercing tool and take those backings off. How many of you are throwing your backings of your dimensionals on the floor? Sometimes I do that, and other times I have a little Stampin' storage wastebasket on the top of my desk here, so I just usually just reach over there and dump them in there. Now grab your focal point and we're going to build the flowers. So you'll need your foliage next. And then we're going to just add a little bit of glue here and then little dots of glue. And then the foliage is going to go down towards the bottom. Now it's your choice or not, but I like to take the little flowers and add a mini dimensional to the back side so they're not on the basic white. Mini dimensionals here, I'll grab those black again. Make sure you're putting the dimensionals on the rough side of that flower. The smooth side is what's going to be showing. Now I've got a little bit of glue on my hands, the liquid glue, and I'm sure that happens to everybody, but I just learned a trick after all these years. I have my embossing buddy on my desk now, and all I do is put a little bit of that cornstarch that's in that bag on my hands and rub it together, and that way that glue is no longer sticky. It does work. All right, so I'm going to put this shaded spruce one in the middle. And then the other ones on the sides. I think this card's so cute. I'm not going to put the pearls on yet. I like to use or save the pearls or any embellishment for the last step. Again, we'll need 3 dimensionals. Create your triangle, then press them down. All right, I've got those all removed. And now it's going to go right in the middle. And I'm looking at this stem here because that one is the straightest, so that I know that that circle is in the flowers, that foliage is going straight up and it's not crooked. It's not leaning. Now this is a place, well, actually, this is where you're going to have to decide what you want to do with your sentiment. I do know it needs to be popped up. So I'm going to add one in the middle and one here. I want to try to create this one a little bit different than these sample cards. So I'm not going to trim down that banner. I'm going to try to work with it. Now this can go wherever you want it. I thought about putting it up here, but then it kind of covers up that cute little foliage and I don't really like that. So then that's why I put it down here. And I'm looking at that letter A for the center so that it's lined up. Whoops. Those dimensional backings, something else. So it's right here in the middle of that white space. If you don't want the bulk, then don't put the ribbon on there, okay? I'm gonna see what it looks like with the banners on this sample card has been cut down and this one's not. And then you guys can vote. I grab my little embellishments here. I'm going to grab one of the larger pearls and add it to the Summer Splash and this Pretty in Pink. And then since this one is smaller, I'm going to grab one of those smaller little pearls. And there we go. This one is done. All right, so here is the 2 cards. And the only difference really is the banner and how it's cut down on this one, and this one it's not. So while you guys are looking at that and deciding which way you like it, I'm going to stamp the envelope with that little heart stamp. And I think my cat might want to go out. We'll see if she starts crying. Also going to grab my Stampin' cleaner, and I'm going to just clean up my stamps. Anybody want to vote out there? That would be great. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next card. And let's turn your page to project number 4. And this is where I'm going to teach you how to create a sunset. All right, so we are using the Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder for this one. It is the focal point, along with those little cute little animals. And some balmy blue that is embossed with the So Swirly 3D embossing folder to look like water. So they're floating on the water there. So grab number 4. I'm going to have to color in, but this one won't be too difficult, I don't think. There's not a lot of parts in this one. You will need your paper trimmer. So you should have your envelope, of course. You'll have your embossed circles. So Spotlight on Nature die was the original die I used. You can kind of see those little marks there because I wanted a really big circle and I thought that one worked nicely. And then I wanted to create some kind of sunset, and I did think of the dotted circles. So with this piece here, grab your paper trimmer, and we're going to trim it down. And to get the amount that you need, you're going to just take that balmy blue piece and put it on the edge. You can take a ruler or you can eyeball it. And decide how much of this you want showing. You could bring it all the way down and trim off a bunch, or you can just trim down maybe an inch, inch and a quarter. So I kind of like it about right there. So I can also take a pen and just make a little mark right there. So I know that's where my paper trimmer is going to start cutting it. So we'll slide this in, and I'm looking in that little dot that I just created with a pen. And this over here needs to be straight on the lines. And then I'm just gonna, oops, carefully trim. Now I just kind of, you might want to, yeah. Okay, so it's easier to take your blade and go down, like start in the middle and then go up and down. Okay, you want a straight edge. So as you can see, I don't have a straight edge. So I'm going to do that again. Take my blade and put it in the middle. And just keep going back and forth. The blade doesn't like those little dots. Okay, all right, that's better. You might want to take your paper snips. If it's frayed a little bit, you're just going to trim that right down. You could take a sanding block as well. That would work. All right, we're done with the trimmer. Find a scrap, grab your scrap paper, and we're going to stamp. So I've got this huge stamp. I only have 2 of the block E's, and they're already being used for a different class. So I just grabbed the block that I randomly had. You'll need your Stampin' or the Memento black ink, and I'm gonna just ink this right up. And then I'm going to flip this over and stamp right in the middle. I gave you enough basic white so that you would have pretty good edge around it. The dyes I used in this one is a Smoky Slate and Ivory and Flirty Flamingo. So, Flirty Flamingo. Oh, that's pretty in pink. Flirty Flamingo and my Smoky Slate. I'm looking for my ivory. I don't see it. Yep, there it is. Okay, same kind of thing. I'm going to use the dark Smoky Slate, and I'm just going to color around the edges and anywhere there's lines. My cat's starting to meow. It's her words to let her out. She's going to have to wait. Okay, that's pretty good with the dark. And let me take the lighter shade and the brush tip. Lots of small areas here. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate my Stampin' blends and color from the side of it. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but the tip on this one is frayed a little bit. That meant I probably used this one in class and it probably just got a little bent. I tried to, when I am doing a class, I always try to tell people that to use the blends very carefully. One time I put them through a test because I had 4 Stampin' Blend markers ruined from a class. So I'm like, before you can use them, you are going to be using or going through my test. It was kind of a joke. One person did it, but I thought it was kind of funny. All right, so I'm going to take my light flirty flamingo and we're going to color in these little, oops, no, that doesn't look right. That is not the color I want. That is too pink. I don't know. Let me go look. I bet I used petal pink on that. Let me see if I can fix it. I might hit it with a little bit of crumb cake to try to get that little pink out. Hi, Fuzzy. And now the ivory is going to be right going over there. There. Let me find my little light shade of crumb cake. Oh, that's dark. And I'm just going to see if I can just make this a little bit darker. Yes. There, that's much better. Okay, so let's clear your area. Grab your mini cut and emboss machine. And first I'm going to grab the die so I can get that all set up. And let's pull off this washi tape. Again, I like to take my die and put it on the image before I put it on the acrylic plate. Okay, that's great. Grab my mini. Sorry about the camera jiggling. And I've got plate number 1 and a very used plate number 2. And then let's grab our image, and it looks like I got Fuzzy's hair on that washi tape. She probably jumped up on my desk when I didn't know it. And then we finish off with the other acrylic plate. Press this in until your handle starts to move. And then your left hand, I'm right-handed, so my left hand goes to the handle of the mini cut and emboss. And then I'm cranking through with my right hand. And it will crack, and that's okay. All right, close this up. And then we will see how it cut. Gently peel it off because there's washi tape on there. You don't want to damage your focal point. There we go. That one came out good too. All right, so let's put these plates away. Make sure you put your die away. You don't want to lose it. And then this card's almost done. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure your card base, this is thick basic white, is horizontal. And then your so swirly balmy blue panel, it's going to go right here. You might find that it's a little bit wider because when you emboss, your paper will stretch, or it can get smaller too. It just all depends on the embossing folder. I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit on. A little bit goes a long way, don't forget. And then this gets lined up with the bottom. So I just opened up that card base, and I'm looking at the left side first, and then the bottom, and then I'll press from that side and then this side. Now this is when you're going to put the sunset on here. Now see, mine is too big, right? I want some white space up there. So let me grab my paper trimmer. And I'm probably going to cut off about 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to line it up with this line over here and make sure my blade is in the middle of that embossed piece, and then there we go. Okay, double check. That's what I want, and that's exactly what I want. So see, you can see this is the ocean and that's the sunset resembles. You could take your blending brush and add some pumpkin pie ink to the embossed sun. I think I like it as is. All right, so that's in the center. I never even grabbed the sample for you. That's what we're making, by the way. All right, and then this is a really easy card to do. I'm grabbing my dimensionals. I want one here, here. 4 is going to do it. Okay, got all those removed. And now I'm going to center the head right and around in this area. And before I press it down, I want to make sure it's in the spot I want, which it's not. I want to move it over to the right a little bit more. There you go. Now, oh, I didn't stamp sending birthday hugs. Hold on. It won't take too long. I just stamped with the Memento Black, and I'm going to stamp right in the middle of the banner. And it's going to go over here, but I want you to put a Stampin' Dimensional under Sending Birthday Hugs, so 3. All right, so let me grab those. Oops, those are minis. So one right here. And then you have to turn it around, One there, and then one in the middle. Now I'm going to put this at an angle, and I'm centering Sending Birthday Hugs in this area here. Okay, now take your paper snips and flip it over so you're looking at the back side, and we're going to trim that banner right down. So now we've got a nice flush sides and top. And now let's take your embellishments, and we'll take a large pearl and put one here, a smaller one there, and another one. Actually, I might just put them all, let's see. I always struggle. There we go. So that one's super easy. And I'm gonna go let my cat out. Well, it'll take me like 20 seconds. Hold on just a second. All right, she's much happier. All right, so we are all set with this one. And next up is our little tiny mini, so cute mouse. And it's a little mini card. And it's a thank you card. I love the little mouse, and it's got a little heart here. So let's turn your page, your instruction sheet to thanks project number 5. This one is super quick. So find number 5. And I did give you some white envelopes. I had some left in my stash. We no longer sell the little ones, but if you want to make one, you can with a envelope maker. So I had a little striped envelope. We're going to make those in class this next Wednesday, so it's already packed away. But we used to sell them, and I ended up, I'm going to make it so it's got the floral on the front. We don't sell it anymore. I wish we did, because I like to make envelopes. Decide if you want it to open up this way or this way. And then your designer paper goes on here. And then we're going to work on the focal point. Let's do our stamping next. You'll need your mouse and a Memento Black ink pad. And then I'm going to bring this closer to me. You got to get it centered here. Okay, isn't that little thing little cute? It's so cute. We can, while that's drying, I'm going to add thanks, and I'll use my Pretty in Pink. I know this is Petunia Pop, but I'm trying to get away with just 3 ink pads in this class. And you could use that little heart stamp too. And I'm going to throw in a couple of hearts here. And maybe on the envelope. Let's do that. All right, so the mouse should be dried. And for the Stampin' Blends, I chose Petunia Pop Gray Granite Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to just use Smoky Slate. And then I'm going to use probably, I don't know, let's see. I'm going to use gray. I'm going to color a gray mouse. Use my dark. This one is going to take some patience because it's a smaller area that you're coloring in. Especially those little hands. Okay. And grab my Smoky Slate Light. Again, I'm using the chisel point. I have more control with the chisel point. When I get to the tail and those little hands, I'll switch over to the brush tip. Really tiny. And now the little tail. There. I'm going to run over and get my petunia pop. Which I don't see. There it is. I'm going to color in the heart. And this is matching the cardstock along with the designer paper. And then finally, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo for the nose. There. It's all set. On the other one, I used crumb cake along with Flirty Flamingo, and I colored in. I didn't like how that looked, so, and I actually like the smoky slate mouse better. All right, we are almost done. So bring in your card base, make sure it's going correctly, and then this piece here, Spotlight on Nature, it is going to get adhered in right on the front. Actually, make sure no little pieces of cardstock are in the holes. And once you do that, this is, oh wait, it's gonna go in the white. Sorry, was ahead of myself. And then we're gonna stick this right on the front. Again, make sure it's going in the correct direction. And then 3 dimensionals. And form your triangle with them. And then this little cute little mouse is gonna go right here. It fits perfectly. This is, I think, a 1 3/8 inch circle punch I used. It's a retired Stampin' Up punch. But it fits perfect. And then lastly, my pearls. And I'm gonna grab this one over here because it's loose. And I don't know as if I want any on this. No, I think it's gonna distract. There. Okay, so let's put those side by side so you can see what smoky slate looks like and crumb cake. And I definitely like the smoky slate much better than the crumb cake. All right, so we can recap what we just made, and I will recap my ordering special. It's only until Sunday. It expires at 8 p.m. Eastern Daytime on Sunday, August 18th. And a $50 product order will get you all 5 kits. And a $60 product order will get you all 5 kits plus an embellishment. This is the long, very long URL that Stampin' Up! Provided me with the host codes embedded. If you don't want to use this long one, go to inspiredbygraham.com and then hit the Shop Now button. But don't forget to add that host code if your order is under $150. And it's the only way I know that you want this kit is to use that host code. I can't assume. So make sure you use the host code and you will receive 1 of each of these. You got a little mini. And you'll also have this really cute sending a big hug. And then I wish I could just hug you. Gotta make room. There's a lot of cards here. And our little, I just could hug you again. I'm missing that card with the sunset. Where did I put it? Right here. and then sending birthday hugs. I can't do the stamping for you, but I will send you all the pieces to make these beautiful, fun cards using the Hearts and Hugs bundle. You could actually order the Hearts and Hug bundle, and that could be part of your $50 product order. Just make sure it's at least $50 in product. That way, and use that host code. That way I know you want these card kits. So thank you so much for joining me in my craft along. I will have another craft along very soon. And I'm going to, after Sunday, I will have a new ordering special. And I will be, we will be making Christmas cards. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the class today. I hope you learned something. I don't see any comments. Actually, no comments have been, I haven't seen any comments since Carla. They are cute. So if there's other comments, YouTube's not letting me see them. So please provide a thumbs up if you enjoyed the class today and share the video with your friends. Okay, I hope you have a great weekend. Be well and take care of yourself.